This is Twit.
Hey, so I got into the office today and I was surprised to find waiting for me this device right here. It is the Sony. Remember when I reviewed the Sony Xperia XZ2 Premium? This is the XZ3, which is their next flagship a couple of months later, which actually in reality, this is a step up from the XZ2, not the Premium that I reviewed a few months ago. So it's kind of a step up from the XZ2, which was earlier, much earlier this year, but still this year. So they're pushing out a lot of flagships in a single year, which is not a bad thing because I have to say they've made some really good changes on this in my short amount of time after kind of pulling it out of the box. A little bit earlier, probably like a couple hours ago. It's running Android Pie out of the box, so the software I feel like feels a lot more modern. Even on the XZ2 Premium, things like it looked okay, but there were just some rounded, there were just some edges that weren't quite, I don't know, some design notes that I didn't quite care for. Some like pop-up windows that looked outdated in comparison with everything else that looked normal. Anyways, this is on Pie, so that's good right out of the box. It's a 6-inch 18:9 display versus the 16:9 display that you had on the XZ2 Premium. So things kind of, the bezels end up being a little bit more minimal by comparison. That was one of my big complaints on the XZ2 Premium, is that it had these really deep bezels on the top and bottom. And, some people are okay with that, but I feel like our eyes are just getting more and more used to thinning those lines out. And thankfully they've done that here. It's OLED instead of LCD display. So things look a lot like you get a lot more of the dark, the contrast in there. It is not a 4K display like the XZ2 Premium, though. This is a 2960 by 1440 display. It does have these curved glass edges on the front, which the XZ2 Premium had kind of curving on the back. And this does as well, obviously, and it feels like they've really kind of tailored the depth of the device and everything to kind of strike a nice balance, so it feels really good in the hand, and those lines, being the curvy glass and everything, it makes it look a little slimmer and nicer. Definitely lighter. And yeah, of course, it still has the dedicated camera shutter button. And then most of the other stuff is very similar, except of course for the fact that it has a single rear-facing camera instead of the dual rear-facing camera of the Premium, the XZ2 Premium. But so far, I would say a big improvement. I'm going to spend a couple of weeks with this, probably until I end up getting whatever the next Pixel device is that I choose. This is on pre-order right now for $899.99, so a little pricey. But, so are so many other flagships right now. It releases on October 17th. So I'm going to play around with it. I think Sony's really come a long way with their design. They stuck to that kind of boxy design for a very long time. And I feel like the XZ2 and the XZ2 Premium, they were working out of that. And this is the first phone where I feel like, all right, they've got a design that I would be really proud of. It feels really, really nice. And I just like the curving that they have going on. With the front display. It
looks a bit like the Pixel 2 XL in real life, except that the OLED itself actually curves a little bit. Yeah, at the edge, it's kind of like a Samsung phone. I used one briefly at IFA a couple weeks back, and we just posted our review on Android Police recently because we have a guy in the UK and they actually have them there already. Oh, okay. And he liked the phone. And what time I spent with it, I thought it was a pretty solid improvement for Sony. The display is gorgeous.
Yeah, the display is really nice.
I think the fingerprint sensor is in kind of a dumb spot. Like, it's so far south on the back, like you have to like change your grip to reach it. Yeah. But I mean, compared to what Sony was doing, 3 months ago with the XZ2 Premium, I think this is a vast improvement.
I completely agree. The fingerprint sensor does feel like it's a little too dead center on the phone because you're usually going to be holding it right about there, and then you're gonna touch the camera lens so much. And I've already done that a couple of times trying to unlock it. So definitely. So I'm going to play around with this. I'm pretty excited to see how this works out over the next couple of weeks, and I got to give Sony props because I've never really cared for their previous design kind of
aesthetic.
Aesthetic that they stuck to for quite a while. I definitely like
sharp edges.
Going with this.
I missed the sharp edges.
Yeah. Oops, that's not the right case for that phone.
Good job, Sony, catching up with the world.
Yes.
There it is.